worship. And Adrian Rogers has got one in his auditorium. It's outrageous. Now, do I have any time?
6 minutes.
Let me just give this to you real quick. This is one they give you. They had a polarized situation at Rome between the Jewish Christians, those that were Jews, and those that were Gentile Christians. And the Jews were kind of lifting themselves up because they had the law, and Paul says there's no difference between Jew and Gentile at Rome. But he says if some Jews come in and they're practicing Jewish dietary laws and they haven't developed spiritually that yet, don't argue with them. That's what he says in 14. Him that is weak in the faith, receive ye, but not to doubtful disputations. Don't doubt their salvation, dispute with them. They're weak. When somebody comes into Grace and Truth Ministries and they're weak, and they're still involved in something else, and they've got some things left over from their previous church, I say, well, in time you will learn. Just don't disrupt the church and don't spew out your false doctrine here. You will learn in time. For one believeth that he may eat all things. This is Jewish dietary laws. If I went through the whole book of Romans, you'll see that this is an argument between the Jew Christians and the Gentile Christians. Not between Jews, but between Jewish Christians. Let him that eateth despise him. Let not him that eateth despise him that eateth not, and let not him which eateth not judge him that eateth. If somebody says, I can't eat ham, I can't eat meat, that's fine. You got a conviction about that until God deals with your heart, until you can see that God has cleansed all things, that's fine. That's fine. You want to do that? If you don't want to eat ham, you got a heart problem. I got a heart problem, I like ham, but I ain't going to make you eat it. That's your business. But listen to the message and your thinking will adjust. Because there's so many things you don't know yet. Some people are babies at 40 and 50 and 60 and 70 years old. Let not him that eateth despise him that eateth not, and let not him which eateth not judge him that eateth, for God hath received him. He's a baby. He's still involved in some Jewish rituals of the Old Testament. It was a holy thing at one time, but this is not talking about Christmas and paganism. Who art thou that judgest another man's servant? See, and Adrian Rogers writes this, who art thou that judgest another man's servant? About Christ's Mass. That's Adrian. I know you're dead, but listen to me. Listen. This has nothing to do with Christ Mass and paganism. This has to do with Jewish rituals which were once time holy before God. To his own master he standeth or falleth. We stand and fall before God, and we will learn, and we are all changing, aren't we? Aren't we? Yes. I'm learning so much. If you're not learning, you've already arrived and I haven't. Yea, he shall be holden up, for God is able to make him stand. One man esteemeth one day above another. Well, this don't mean you can have a right to celebrate some paganism. This is talking about which day of the week you're going to serve God. The Jews said it had to be on Saturday or the Sabbath. He's saying, let that man serve God on the Sabbath if that's what he wants to do, even though those rituals are nailed to the cross with Christ. Let him do as he wants. I have seven-day preachers that call me and want me to come preach for them. I don't beat them up on the Sabbath. I'll say, if you want to know about it, I'll teach you about it. But they're not doing something real wicked and evil just because they meet on Saturday. And we're not doing something wicked and evil because we meet on Sunday. Don't judge me and I won't judge you, okay? About what day you serve God. Then he says, one man esteemeth one day above another, another esteemeth every day alike. And I've had this next phrase thrown at me. Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind whether he celebrates Christmas or not. This ain't got nothing to do with Christmas. It has to do with Jewish ritual holy days out of the Old Testament. And Jewish dietary laws, which were once holy before God. It's not talking about, don't you judge me about whether I celebrate Christmas or not. That's not this, Adrian. And he wrote me back a letter and was quoting this. Adrian, you know better than that. It just disgusted me to the point I said, I ain't writing him no more. He's ignorant. He don't even want to know.
No.
He that regardeth the day regardeth it unto the Lord, and he that regardeth not to the day to the Lord, he doth not regard it. He that eateth, eateth to the Lord, for he giveth God thanks. And if you eat herbs, and that's all you eat, and you don't eat any ham, or you don't eat any red meat, I go for long periods of time, I don't eat nothing but fish. Because it's more healthy for me. People say, should we eat these things? Well, the Lord has cleansed all things. He said so. But if you feel like you don't need to eat those, don't eat it. I don't care. But don't get mad at me if I do. And I won't get mad at you if you don't. You have your conviction, and I have my conviction. But see, we both have a conviction about something that's not evil. It's, neither one of them's evil. For he giveth God thanks, and he that eateth not to the Lord, he eateth not, and giveth God thanks. For none of us liveth to himself, and no man dieth to himself. We're living for others. Let's not try to offend one another. When baby believers come in here, I wait until you develop. I'm not going to jump down your throat. Yeah.
When we first started here, we didn't eat pork. We followed dietary laws. And Ryan never had eaten pork. And we went over to your house one night, and there was a tray of it. And he's eating ham. He said, Mama, come taste this.
The best turkey. He said, what? The best turkey. Best turkey you've ever eaten. That's funny. But what we do is, as you develop, you're going to learn. I'm not